Do you know how it feels to rot? I've been doing nothing all day but scrolling on my phone. I mean, after class at least. Didn't take any notes in class, I was just sitting there, my camera on, but mostly just listening to the teachers yapping, not really learning anything. Feeling very conflicted because I could get better, but I'm too faint-hearted to do so. I give up very easily. I wish that the future self that I have painted in my head would come to fruition one day. But if I don't do anything now, obviously that won't happen. But I'm not sure if starting, if doing it right now is gonna be worth it. I'm spending too much time worrying about my physical appearance rather than studying well. And the thing is, I haven't studied well for since middle school. Although I didn't really care that much or care this much about physical appearance back in middle school than I do now. And that's because in middle school up to early high school, junior high, I was really just struggling mentally, like struggling a lot more than I am right now, I guess. Or maybe there was physical strain on top of mental exhaustion. Sorry, physical exhaustion on top of mental strain. Yeah, during those years. I could stay like this. I could stay a pathetic loser, a pathetic excuse of a human being, and continue to live the rest of my life unhappy and be on par with the rest of the world who's suffering. Or I could get better and I could improve myself and live the idealized version of myself, both physical and in terms of accomplishments, and be on par with the minority of the world that the majority hates. People belonging to that minority are those people who are physically, conventionally attractive, those who are financially stable, those who are somewhat mentally stable, those people who have access to the resources that they need, those people who just don't experience that much of bad things compared to the rest of the world. Um, and getting better would mean that the majority of people in the world would hate me, especially if I try to put myself out there, simply because I got better and that they're envious of me and wish that everyone could be. It's either they want to put other people down to feel better, or they were just they're just wishing that everyone's lives could be better, which sadly isn't the reality for most people. At least based on this worldview that I have, which I've explained quite a bit of times in past recordings, but I'll try to summarize it here. Objectively, there, from how, okay, this is my worldview, this is the worldview that I'm talking about, how I see the world. Objectively, there's more bad than good, and and sometimes, well, most, actually all the time, your efforts to kind of like better the world are never gonna work because the world's just gonna keep being bad till the end of time. I don't even wanna know when the end of time is. It's not like it's in sight or anything. Could be, but you'll never really know. We never know what lies beyond our deaths. We live up to a certain age, then we die. We don't really know what's next after that. But I know for sure that I'm tired. But there are a lot of there are a lot of factors that kind of hold me back from improving myself. And again, I'm a very faint-hearted person. It's actually kind of funny how I didn't kill myself back then. Back when my suicidal thoughts were at its peak. I never even attempted because I was too much of a coward to make that first move. Well, I did on certain occasions, but I never really continued with it. Like, yeah, sure, I held the weapon, I held the choke, the thing that would choke me, but I never actually tightened that choking thing. I never really pushed that knife into my chest because I was scared. Because deep down I did know that I had people who cared about me. And I know that, like, for a majority of the world, that's not the case. And that's why they do it and kill themselves. I never really know if they had an afterlife or anything like that. Um, there's this certain physique that I want to get to, but I feel like trying to achieve that is kind of distracting me from my studies. But I think my procrastination issues that have been here since middle school are a different issue. And I feel like it has something to do with, like, not necessarily depression, because I'm aware clinically diagnosed individuals with clinically diagnosed depression, they are very much different from me. Only those with clinically diagnosed depression would know what depression feels like, and I'm not one of them. So I wouldn't really say that my procrastination is because of depression. I think it's more of nihilism. Or maybe not nihilism. There are quite a bit of factors, but it could be a trauma response. Although I really don't think that what I went through was trauma, even though I feel like I'm scarred by it. Emotionally scarred to this day. Although it's not that bad. After all, it's just text messages, right? Can't possibly be that bad. People have it worse than me. I always tell myself that. It's kind of hard to break out of this cycle of isolation, self-loathing, like being really selfish, kind of. It's hard when you're, well, I'm not to say that I'm having it worse than everyone else, because I'm very well aware that everyone else has it worse than me anyway. So maybe I shouldn't even talk about this in the first place. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about it like this in the first place. But another thing about me is that I have an avoidant attachment style, so I basically don't vent to anyone else. I usually just yap to the camera because this is the place I feel like I can, it's the only place I feel I can vent. I don't like that word. But like, I feel like there's only like one of my very few outlets. Another one is my phone camera, my notes app, and my physical journal, which I haven't been writing in for a hot minute. I'm just really tired and I wish I could get better, but then I feel like it would be unfair because the rest of the world is suffering. But to be fair, I can't really do anything about it, and that's my worldview. I just don't think that no matter what you are, what you do, who you are, you just can't change the world from like like you just can't get rid of the bad completely ever. I've created such a pretty person. I've created such a pretty girl, a pretty image of my future self, the girl that I want to be. And I don't know if I'll ever get there. And that pretty image of a girl, that future, my supposed future self, she has flaws, but I think that's what makes her unique besides her weird tastes. I'd like to describe that idealized version of myself, but I'm not sure if I should say it right now. Um, Maybe not. Maybe I won't share it. Let's see if I'll get there before I'm able to say it. Maybe not. I'm a really big pessimist if it was obvious from the entirety of this video. I'm kind of far from my goal weight. I'm barely getting enough sleep. My procrastination habit is really just taking over my being, and it always has, but I think it's really getting worse. I feel like I don't really know how I'm going to get out of this slump. It's not really easy being isolated. And as much as some people may think that being an online student has like a lot of perks, I think it does. At the same time, you get left behind, especially now. We're no longer in COVID. It is 2024. People are face to face again. And because of my family's financial status, I just have no choice but to be an online student. It's kind of hard when I thought I've gotten used to it, but lately I've been really lonely. I've been an online student since the 8th grade, and this isolation is so rotting. Like, my sanity. Well, I'm not really. I don't. I don't have a diagnosed mental illness or anything similar. Although I feel like I have one. Maybe because of the sheer amount of isolation that I have every single day. And being an avoidant makes everything harder for me. It's hard for me to reach out for help and ask for help and talk about these feelings. I really wish I could. I kind of crave that. I crave that closeness with someone where I can talk to, where I could talk to someone. And but no, because my parents have always pushed me away emotionally. They would never really understand me whatsoever. Whenever I let my feelings out, my feelings of pent-up anger, of resentment, my dad considers it as, my dad just labels it off as disrespect and nothing else, and just takes everything away from me. Like, I got grounded last time when I let out those feelings. I kind of slipped up because, well, that one is a long story. The last time I got grounded, which was like in July, I think. Yeah, it's a long story, but basically, any display of strong emotions in this household, it's almost like it's forbidden, which is why I've become so closed off like this. And that's what made me, and it's what made me have this avoidant attachment style. Like, I kind of just crave that closeness with someone where I could like open up to them and tell them everything. But I can't do that anymore. I could imagine how nice it would feel to have a secure attachment style and just being comfortable with opening up and stuff like that. Oh, and it's not just my parents thinking that I'm disrespecting them every time I try to express my emotions. It's also religion. It's like a byproduct of them brushing my emotional needs off. I've grown to hate our religion, and I don't want to follow it, so, well, I'm not outright kind of like bashing our church because I don't want to do that. That's disrespectful, and I understand. I understand that I have to respect the church even though I don't like being in it. And I can do that. But I try not to I just don't want to get swallowed up in all the indoctrination that they've been putting. I was baptized, but I was only 6 years old. And I'm 15 now. You can imagine the difference of a person, like the brain of a 6-year-old versus the brain of a 15-year-old. I mean, depending on the environment they were raised in, there would still be a massive difference either way. So I barely had any idea of what I was putting myself through or what I was getting myself into at 6 years old, making that choice to get baptized. Well, anyway, I feel like I should go to sleep, and then I'll wake up extra early and I'll do my work then. Not sure though. I feel like dying. Not like outright killing myself, but more of dying as in I feel like I'm going to die as I lay in bed. I'm exaggerating, but that's just how mentally. I don't like to use the term broken because it feels a bit too much. There are people who are more. You just have it worse than me, and I just don't feel like I have the right to use the word broken on myself. But I'm definitely not mentally I don't think I should use the word stable either. But I'm definitely not completely sane. I spiral into procrastination, overthinking, and nihilism, and like and self-loathing every single day. And if you're thinking that it's solely because of because of scrolling on the internet, yeah, sure, that makes up like 50% of the of the reason why I'm this fucked up now, but I feel like it's much deeper than that. I've just tried to explain it all earlier. Well, I guess I'll be going to sleep. I was thinking of some sort of dramatic outro, one-liner, but I have nothing right now.